Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Alvaro, and I'm gonna talk about my ancestry DNA results. I did the test back in 2015, and I even did a video in 2016, so you can check it out on my channel. But I decided to do a new one because every 2 years or something like that, there's always an update. So it's quite different from the results that I have now. The ones I had initially in 2015. Even if the totals like European, African, um, more or less the same, but yeah, now it's like more breaking down and you know like the regions, the country. Yeah. Before I will start, I'm gonna talk a little bit about myself. I was born here in New York City, but my two parents are from the Dominican Republic, specifically from the El Cibao, from the north part of the country. Um, I would say like is the lightest region, like with more European DNA than the south and then the east. Even if like in the capital, like upper class people and are usually white, even whiter than the people from the north. But yeah, like in general, we have more European DNA. So yeah, my parents are from there, but I lived there many years, so that's why I even have an accent. And yeah, my grandparents are from there. My great grandparents are from there, because sometimes people ask, "Oh, you're like, oh, I'm Dominican," and they're like, "Oh, but you're all your grandparents." I'm like, "Yeah," or you're like they think I have like an ancestor was somewhere else, and of course I have, but not like recently. So at least you know to my great grandparents, I'm pretty sure I know that they were all born in the Dominican Republic. After that, I don't know. I wish I can, you know that, and of course there's ways to know. So um, requires a little bit of work, but yeah, maybe one day I'm gonna go back, generations and find more about myself and the people before me, right? So yeah, let's start. Oh yeah, yeah. My dad's side is from the northwest of the DR. It's a town called Muncion. It's very nice, one of the best towns in the DR. And I lived there many years too, close to Muncion. Um, yeah, my both of his parents are from there. Even well, my great grandparent was born close to San Jose de las Matas, Sajoma, like the border between Muncion and Sajoma. And but then he moved to Cacique, Muncion, and yeah, my granddad was born there. And from my mother's side, it's more like in the central north of the country. She was born in Provincias Paya, near Moca, but you know, her dad, my granddad, was in the military, so she was born there by chance. But he was from a nearby town called Villa Tapia, and my grandmother, her mother, was born in La Vega, so pretty close, like central, north of the DR. And what else can I say about my parents? Which they're visiting me now, and I already bought two kits of DNA ancestry DNA. So, like in a few weeks, I'm gonna. They've already provided the saliva and everything, and I'm looking forward to see their results. So yeah, I gotta wait like 5 or 6 weeks, but that's fine. And Okay, I'm gonna start talking about my regions, right? My DNA. The first country that comes up is Spain. No, not surprising at all, of course. I have 45% on Spain, and I'm sure it's a lot of from like Andalusia, the south part of Spain, and from Canary Islands too. Because I always heard like I had maybe like my great great grandparent. I heard some rumors, like some talks that he came from Canary Island. And I think many Dominicans, a lot of Canarians, they moved to the DR. So that would make sense. The second one that comes up is indigenous Haiti and Dominican Republic. I have 11%, which is more or less what I see like the average for Dominicans. Maybe a little bit lower, like around 8, 10%. But I've definitely seen higher. Like I have a second cousin, she scored 14%. And I've seen 17, 20%, and even like 30%. But yeah, the average I would say like is around 10. Is there, so it's very consistent. Our indigenous, our Taino blood, even if it's not a lot, but it's there. And I think like I was saying, my dad is from Monción, and that's the town they do el casabe. It's like a cassava bread. It's made out of yuca, the roots, or cassava, like a lot of people say. Um, so yeah, like I think the area, which is like La Sierra, it probably has a lot of Native American DNA because I see it in a lot of people, and also like the Northwest in general. And the north part of the country, and and I think the south too, like around Aswa and that area, people score higher than the rest of the country. So my third country is Portugal, 11%. Um, I mean that's a Iberian Peninsula, right? I would. I'm not surprised at all either. Um, Even if I'm sure it's Portugal, because sometimes with the update, the Spain and Portugal, the last time I think I had more Portugal than Spain, and now I have way more Spain than Portugal, like 45% to 11%. I remember one time, one update, it was like 25% Spain, 23% Portugal, and 22% France, something like that. So, but yeah, like it's all like around the area. For me, I count everything like Spain for now. Even if I heard like uh, the north part of the country also receive a lot of Portuguese immigration from Portugal, but yeah, I just count it like as Spain. Okay, let's keep going. The fourth one is Senegal, 7%. Um, I have been more like learning about the African continent, and I even planning to, because I like to travel, and I've been to Spain, and one of the countries I want to visit is Senegal. And it makes sense that a lot of Dominicans have, because I've seen a lot of results. The first country to show up is Senegal, which is West African, and that was the country that, it wasn't a country back then, but that was the area that a lot of slave, I think every slave came up from. Um, Even if they were in another area, but that's because Senegal, the Dakar, the capital, is the closest from continental Africa you can be from the Americas. So it makes sense, right? So after Senegal, I have Northern Africa. I have 6%. Um, I think I can pass in North Africa. I don't know. Maybe it's a Moroccan or I don't know, but I think so. So 6% is cool. Wait a minute. What am I doing here? Okay. So yeah, 6% is cool. It's another region I want to visit. And that Northern Africa, it's probably from the people that came, from the Spaniards that came at that time. I don't know if they were mixed a little bit, especially in the south, or just Northern Africans that were at that time, and they came with us, the Spanish people too. They immigrated here. Then I have Benin and Togo, which is also West Africa, 4%. Basque, 4%. That would be like around the border from France and Spain. England and northwestern Europe, 3%. Central Nigeria, 2%. Nigeria, 2%. I don't know what's the difference. Like, why did they just don't put like Nigeria? That's it. Central Nigeria is still Nigeria. Western Bantu peoples, 2%. Yoruba land. What is this? Let's see. What is this again? Yeah, kind of the same like Benin, Togo, Ghana. Everything like in that area. That's wait a minute. Yeah, that's 1%. And Nigerian woodlands. Okay, another Nigerian. I guess Nigeria is a big country, but still, like I don't know why. But they I guess they know why they're putting it that way. And then Sephardic Jews on 1%. So yeah, like sub-Saharan Africa, I have, if I do the math, I have 7, 19%. And then Northern Africa, I have 6%. And then indigenous, right, the Tainos, I have 11%. In Europe, I would say I have 56, 60, 63, like 64%. So yeah, that would be like 64%, 63. So yeah, those are my results. You can check my other video that I uploaded 9 years ago in 2016. And the results were like 68% European. So now I have a little bit less. 23% Africa. But from that 23%, I think 19% were sub-Saharan African, so it's still the same. And 4% were Northern Africa. So I guess 2% of the Northern Africa that is now, it was European before. Right? It makes sense if you do the math. In Native America, I think it was 8% or something like that. I don't remember. So yeah, this is my other video, just with the updates. You can check also, I'm gonna do a video of my DNA on 23andMe that I did back in 2020. Similar results. I'm not gonna say it, right, so you can watch the video. And so yeah, I just subscribe, because I'm gonna make videos about race, about cultures and ethnicities, and other good stuff about DNA, ancestry. And yeah, and talking about the Dominican Republic, we are a very mixed country. I would say it's the most balanced country, balanced and mixed country in the world. I don't know what other country. Well, I guess there are a few, but it's like very half and half of European and African, and a little bit of a significant touch of Native American too, Taino, and yeah, but the African and the European is like everything we do, like the culture, the music, the food, and us, the people. We are very mixed, and so when I hear like especially like Black Americans sometimes, or other Latinos, like, oh no, you guys are black, and I don't know, like I've seen a lot of results, and it's like very even, and I still think European is a little bit higher, if for the average Dominican. Like I've seen, people more darker than me still scoring more than, even not even more darker. It's also like not only more darker. It's also like the features, and they're still scoring like a little bit more European. I guess the African genes are very strong because I've seen a lot of even Hispanics scoring. They look whiter than me, and they still have less like European than me. So at the end, we're a very mixed country, and and the average Dominican is not gonna care about race. We are just we just say we're Dominicans, right? I guess a lot of Dominicans are ignorant about race in general. They think that there is just Dominican. They don't want to be. They don't say, "Oh, I'm white or European or I'm African," or no. They just say the Dominican. I think a lot of them they just think Dominicans like a race. And but the people that have done the test, like me and most of we acknowledge every part of us. Like I'm very proud of my African. I even want to go there, like I said, and but I'm also proud about my European side and my Native American side too. So I don't know why this obsession, right, with us, like, oh, it's like they want us to identify with only our African. Like I get it if you're 80% African, okay, like 90% African. Like I guess, right, you can say, okay, you're black, I'm black. But when someone is like very mixed, even me, like I have 19% African, and I'm not gonna go out there like I'm white. No, because I'm not white. Like 1/3 of me, 2/3 is European, but 1/3 is from other parts of the world. So at the end I just said I'm Dominican, and and with my test, with my results, I acknowledge, and I'm happy. I'm happy to be what I am. And so yeah, I think this is it for now. Subscribe, please. Give it a like. No, you don't have to do that. Yes, I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you on the next one. Oh, and I was forgetting about this. From my mother's side, there's always been a rumor about one of our ancestors that came from Armenia. So my mother's last name is ends in IAN. So for me it makes sense, because a lot of last names in Armenia, it ends that way. So famous example is Dorkadashian, right? But I don't think it's pronounced that way in Armenian, right? But I'm pronouncing it like in an English way, Kardashian, something like that, and it ends at IAN. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So when I did this test back in 2015, I was like, wow, hopefully I get, some Armenian. That would be cool, not the same numbers and the same regions that every Dominican gets, right? It just varies the percentages, almost, because we have Dominicans of Chinese, Japanese descent, a lot of like Lebanese. Like our president is, his father's side is from Lebanon. His wife is full Lebanese. I mean, born there, and the parents were born there, yeah, but both sides, they came from Lebanon. And also like Syrian, Palestinian. We have some minorities from other, but at least the vast majority, like, is African, European, if with this touch of Native American. So I was a little bit bummed when I didn't see anything from that region of Romania, and I don't know. I don't know if it's still true, but it doesn't look like, And I searched for the last name. It doesn't exist in Romania. Um, so the one of the rumors is like they changed the first letter from, my mother's last name starts with a J, and so they said it used to be with an S. But no, not even that last name. It hasn't show up. So I guess maybe not true, right? But again, let's see with my mom. Maybe she has some. Maybe it's been some generation back that at this point I didn't get anything. But hopefully, I wish my grandfather would have been alive, because maybe he had some of that, if the rumor is true. But yeah, I was a little bit bummed, but it is what it is, right? I'm still happy with my results, and yeah.